I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. Today's topic is on how God's chosen people are going to be the talk of the town. Now, you guys that have been subscribers of mine for quite a while now understand that I do not use the term chosen ones anymore because I think that it is saturated with vanity in regards to the modern era and YouTube. But I think overall it still applies because in the Bible it says that God's people are a peculiar people. And you are a peculiar person. This is why you're going to be the talk of the town. And it's not necessarily that you're crazy or that you're doing something that is just completely out of the norm. You're just doing something very different that not very many people have seen before. And even though you yourself think that it's normal to move the way that you move and to behave the way that you behave, you don't really say much unless you have something to say, usually. You don't really talk too much just to talk. You want to have these meaningful, deeper conversations, and it's not that you can't have small talk, it's just that you want it to lead somewhere to where you're building something greater and it's not just all surface level. If you're anybody like that, it's like the masses just, they don't know how to fathom and they can't wrap their mind around you actually wanting to care about your life. They can't really fathom wanting to take yourself seriously because they don't know what it's like to take themselves seriously. And you'll find, I think this is one of the reasons why dating is, for both males and females, is so catastrophic nowadays, is because people just want to hide behind masks and pretend as if they're not really as engaged in their life as they are, or they want to pretend as if they're more involved in their lives and more successful than they really are. So you have people that are so invested into themselves that they can't see anybody else. And then you have people that are so invested into their image that they don't understand reality. And then there's you, the godly people, the godly chosen of the Most High God. And you're somebody that just wants to live in reality. You're somebody that actually has boundaries. You stand up for yourself. This is one way that you're going to be the talk of the town. And it's not about trying to be the talk of the town, right? It's not about trying to be the person that people see and over like want to be around. And that would be nice. I don't actually mind people admiring or respecting me in that way. But it is kind of weird when people get all starey. I don't know what else to call it, really. They just get really starey. They just stare at you, and then you look at them and you're just like, hello. Hi. And you pretend to just kind of, nah, I'll just do whatever here. I'll just pretend like this is what it is because it is. And I'll pretend like I'm focusing on this because I don't know what this person's going on over here. And even though I'm still noticing that they're noticing me, I'm just going to focus on here. I'm just going to pretend like it's not even there and I'm going to ignore it. Sometimes you need to just ignore this kind of behavior, but then other times where it crosses a line, you need to actually address it. And I've addressed it multiple times, not just in my community physically, but online as well, where it was almost as if I began to see through the facade of people so much so that I couldn't help but call it out because it would be wrong for me not to do so. And so it was almost like it was my sacred duty to call it out because I needed to expose the evil that was going on. Because I cannot look at something that is evil and not do something about it. The Holy Spirit within me is just gonna I won't be able to sleep at night if I know that I could have exposed evil and I didn't. And God will reward you for that bravery. Don't get me wrong. God will reward you for your bravery, but it takes a certain amount of courage to overcome that fear. And that's exactly what is part of the bravery and part of the reward as well. Part of the reward of courage is courage itself. And when people try to cross your boundaries and you make it known that you do not like this and you're not okay with this, then sometimes people will laugh at you nervously. Sometimes people will laugh at you as if they don't think that you're actually going to enforce these boundaries. I made a video a couple days ago called "Sometimes It's Best to Play Dumb Around Toxic Individuals." And I mean that. Sometimes it is best, but other times it's not the best idea. It's not the wisest thing to do. So you have to determine for yourself, what does the situation call for? Because if these people around you at this time are trying to enforce their lack of morality onto you in a desperate way, you have to ensure that you are standing your ground enough to say no and to mean it. Because these people out here, a lot of people are snakes. Like, the snakes are out and about, they're slithering away, and they're right in front of your face oftentimes. In fact, at the gym, this happens not necessarily frequently, but I always have people coming up to me at least once a week or two that people ask, "Hey, can I steal this from you? Can I steal that from you?" And just using those words in general always tells me what kind of person that kind of person is. If you say, "Hey, can I steal that from you?" I know that their subconscious level, because you as a godly person understand the true depth of the spirituality of this world. Everything is spiritual. So when people say something like that, "Hey, can I steal this from you?" Like, no, I don't like people stealing from me. Thank you very much. And whenever I say that, people usually start to laugh nervously, or they get really kind of frightened and intimidated. And it's like, just rephrase your question. Just don't ask me if you can steal something. Subconsciously, this is just going to enforce taking from other people, taking from other things, taking from life and not giving back. If you're constantly taking from life and you're not able to give back to something or someone in some way, shape, or form, then you're not contributing to life. And therefore, maybe what you're getting is what you deserve. And that's a rough thing to accept for a lot of different kinds of people, because you have to give back in some way, shape, or form. You have to. And sometimes you have to give and give and give and give, not necessarily to other people, but to the people or the things that also value what you have to give. And that takes discernment, and that takes an understanding of who you're going to give to. This is another reason why you're going to be the talk of the town as a godly person, just because of the way you move. You necessarily, you are absolutely necessary to your own life when you are a godly person. You understand the vitality and the vigor and the sacrifices that you have to make in order to improve your life conditions overall. And if you don't contribute to your own life conditions, if you are not a asset to yourself and you are a liability unto yourself, you're going to reap the consequences of being a consequence to yourself. You have to make yourself an asset unto yourself so that you may succeed in what it is that you are envisioning to live out your life. And this is what people don't want to see you do. They don't want to see you actually create the dream that you have. Because if you think about it, it is only really the dreams that we have that are going to be able to be manifested into reality. You're creating your dream, you're creating your reality, or you are a product of the culture, of the places, of the people that you're around. You're either a creator or you're part of the created. And that is another thing that is another harsh truth that you have to accept. And you are going to be somebody, as a godly person, that is part of the creation and creating of a better world. And I don't necessarily mean this to say like you're a co-creator of the universe in the sense that New Age people think about it. But you are a co-creator of the universe because we have to be. If we're not creating, then we're almost by definition either stagnating or regressing. And we have to constantly be evolving. And you as a godly person want to continually evolve because the truth itself is continuously evolving. The truth is always renewing itself and unfolding before us. It is as if we are able to fold a piece of paper from flap A to B, right? But if we fold it from flap A to C, then we get the whole alphabet. This is something that Terence McKenna has talked about in some way, shape, or form with the effects of psychedelics. But you don't necessarily need to have psychedelics in order to look at the majesty of the universe and the true beauty of the creation to see how you can actually fold flap A to flap C and get the whole alphabet rather than just folding flap A to flap B to get to C. You can do whatever you want in this world if you so make the conscious choice to do so. And this is why you're going to be the talk of the town. People don't get it. I look out at the world and I often wonder what planet these people are on. I really don't know what planet a lot of these people are on because in some ways I know I have my feet on the ground. I know that I'm a level-headed person. I know that I'm capable of aggression if I need to, but for the most part, I don't really have to be anymore. Once you get to a certain point in your manhood, it's almost like people respect you enough to where they know that if things need to go down, you're ready because you're prepared. You're not, and they know that you're prepared. They know that you're prepared just well, just fine. So you don't have to announce that. And it's almost like you get to a certain point as well where it's, you don't even need to be extremely self-confident or anything or trying to walk with a certain kind of swag. You just naturally have that. And people notice that, whether you think so or not. I've gotten comments on my walk more than from men than women, but men have like talked to me about the way that I walk, which I've always found very interesting. I didn't think that there was anything really special about the way that I walk because I just make sure that I have my back straight and I'm looking straight ahead and I have a slight sway to my shoulders and I walk, I guess I kind of walk like a cat in some ways, like a lion or like a tiger would, kind of lethargic but powerful at the same time. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's something that you should do or whatever, but that's just kind of the way that I walk whenever I'm feeling at my most confident. I kind of have that lethargic and yet powerful motion of walking. And I've gotten comments on it, but I'm just being who I am. I'm just being naturally me. And a lot of that has to do with semen retention as well and just holding in my essence. But a part of that also just is making sure that I'm aligning my actions with my words. And when you do that, you magically create this version of yourself that's actually true. Like you are authentically you when your words and your actions match. So, with all this being said, I hope this information was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.